What's up everybody, Weston here with the Hidden Gibbon, back with another daily deck tech video, and here in Iowa we have gone from 60-degree weather at the beginning of the week to another blizzard warning. It's freezing rain outside right now. But, you know, none of that matters here in the world of Magic. So, without further ado, let's get straight into this Marneus Calgar deck today. This is going to be a moderate budget, $240, and of course, as always, please feel free to take these deck lists and make them their own, make them more expensive, make them cheaper, whatever you need to do to make the deck your own. So, let's get straight into it, shall we? So who is Marneus Calgar? He's a 3/5 for 2 generic, a white, a blue, and a black. He's a Space Marine. He has double strike. He has Master Tactician, which is whenever one or more tokens enter the battlefield under your control, draw a card. And you can pay 6 to create 2 2/2 Astartes Warrior creature tokens with Vigilance. There are multiple ways that you can run this kind of token deck. You can go treasures, foods. It's a little bit more difficult doing foods without green. You can go blood tokens and black. All sorts of interesting stuff. But today we're going to go a classic creature commander, tokens build. So how are we going to do this? Well, first and foremost, we have Liliana Dreadhorde General. She's a 6 loyalty, and whenever a creature you control dies, draw a card. She costs 6, and +1. Create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. -4. Each player sacrifices 2 creatures, which should be fine for us if we have plenty of tokens. And -9. Each opponent chooses a permanent they control of each permanent type and sacrifices the rest. The likelihood of you being able to get the ultimate off is very low because planeswalkers are historically very weak in Commander, especially not when played en masse or cheated in or a bunch of them swarmed out at once, because for every 1 turn you have, your opponents have, you have 3 opponent turns, and they can just kind of whittle it down. For creatures, we have ourselves a very classic card, Adeline Resplendent Cathar, and although she has been kind of power crept, she is still very good. She is a star 4/4/3. Vigilance, her power is equal to the number of creatures you control, and whenever you attack for each opponent, create a 1/1 white human creature token that's tapped and attacking that player or planeswalker. Notice, it doesn't have to be Adeline attacking, just a attack. We have Assault Intercessor, which is first strike, menace, and chainsword. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, that player loses 2 life. I did mix in a few of the Warhammer 40k cards in here, but not very many, because since we haven't gotten reprints of the Warhammer 40k decks, all of the cards are increasing in price. We do have Belisarius Call, which is a 2/4/4, which you can tap to untapped artifacts you control to create a 2/2 white Astartes creature token with Vigilance. This should be pretty simple to do. And then Master Machines, you can tap X untapped creatures you control. Look at the top X cards of your library. You may reveal an artifact card from among them, put it into your hand, put the rest on the bottom of your library. We have Elish Norn, one of my favorite cards of all time. And this is one of the higher budgeted cards in the deck, so always feel free to cut this if 240 is a little bit high for you. She is a 4/7 for 7 with some beautiful art, originally from New Phyrexia, and Vigilance, and other creatures you control get +1 or +2/+2, and creatures your opponents control get -2/-2. This ends up being a wrath, like a one-sided wrath effect a lot of times. Emrakul's Messenger, devoid, flying, and whenever you draw your second card each turn, create a 0/1 Eldrazi spawn that can sack to add colorless mana. We have Faramir, Prince of Athelion. I love this card a lot. Beginning of your end step, choose an opponent. At the beginning of that player's next end step, you draw a card if they didn't attack you. Otherwise, create 3 1/1 white human soldier creature tokens. Homunculus Horde, another personal favorite of mine. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, create a copy that is create a token that is a copy of this creature. He can get out of hand pretty fast, especially I've played him in decks where my opponents have had group hug and everybody's drawing cards, and I just have a billion Homunculus Hordes. We have Cabal, Profiteering Mare. Whenever 1 or more tokens enter the battlefield under an opponent's control, for each of them, create a tap token that's a copy of it. And this ability triggers only once each turn. And whenever one or more tokens enter the battlefield under your control, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. This is pretty simple, straightforward. He's very common in token stacks. We have Mirkwood Bats, another very common token card. We have Mischievous Mystic. Flying, whenever you draw your second card each turn, create a 1/1 blue fairy creature token with flying. We have Monastery Mentor, which is prowess, and whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create a 1/1 white monk creature token with prowess. We have Nadir Kraken, so whenever you draw a card, you can pay 1, and if you do, put a 1/1 counter on Nadir Kraken and create a blue tentacle. I also very much enjoy this card. Ophiomancer, it puts a little Death Touch snake into play. The snake is a very good sack outlet. We have Pitiless Plunderer, so whenever another creature you control dies, create a treasure token. Prince Imrahil, so when you draw your second card each turn, create a 1/1 white human creature token. And then we have Thales Reverent Medium, which is 3/4 for 5. At the beginning of each end step, create X 1/1 white spirit creature tokens with flying, where X is the number of tokens you created this turn. Sorceries. We have Avatar's Wrath. This card has been very much growing on me since the advent of the Avatar set. It's very strong. Yesterday, when I played with my friends, was able to cast it to blow out some elves, which was pretty fun. We have Exterminatus, non-land permanents your opponents control lose indestructible until end of turn, which is pretty valuable considering how many things get indestructible these days. Destroy all non-land permanents. For the Emperor, creatures you control get +2/+2 and gain vigilance and lifelink until end of turn, which is pretty good with all your tokens. Launch the Fleet. This spell costs 1 more to cast for each target beyond the first. Till end of turn, any number of target creatures gain whenever this creature attacks. Create a 1/1 white soldier creature token that's tapped and attacking. We have Battle of Bywater. Destroy all creatures power 3 or greater. This is a very strong card in tokens decks, especially if you don't have any of your pump effects out for your tokens, because it destroys all creatures with power 3 or greater. So if you have a bunch of 2/2s and 1/1s, you're sitting... Sorry. Oh my goodness. Choking. If you have a bunch of 2/2s and 1/1s, you are sitting golden. Then we have ourselves United Front. This is another card that I've absolutely loved since the Avatar set came out. It's X and double white. You create X 1/1 white ally creature tokens and then put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. So not only does it create a bunch of dudes for you, but then also makes a bunch of dudes very strong. We have White Sun's Twilight, which is a Wrath. It gains X life. Then you create X 1/1 Phyrexian Myr, or Might artifact creature tokens with Toxic 1, and this creature can't be blocked. If X is 5 or more, destroy all other creatures. For instance, we're going to have a lot of removal in here. We have Anguished Unmaking, Mortify, Despark, Generous Gift, Path to Exile, Swords to Plowshare, Stroke of Midnight, and Utter End. Then we have ourselves some utility with Deadly Dispute, and then we have, and also Unbreakable Formation and Ripborn Defenses. So these two give you Indestructible. This one lets you populate with Indestructibility. Deadly Dispute lets you draw a couple cards. Oh, sorry. Getting over a little bit of a cold. Then we have Grand Crescendo and Secure the Waste. Both of these are X cost spells that put 1/1s into play. Secure the Waste is 1 and X, and this is 2 and X, and they are both instants. This makes your creatures get indestructible until end of turn, which is also a good protection spell. Another good one that I suppose you could throw in here is the one Moogle Making card from Final Fantasy. The one that makes a Moogle for each creature you control and then makes your stuff indestructible. For our artifacts, we've got Arcane Signet and Soul Ring for our mana rocks. We've got Inquisitorial Rosette, which is whenever the equipped creature attacks, create a 2/2 white Astartes creature token with Vigilance that's attacking. Then attacking creatures gain Menace till end of turn. Maskwood Nexus, so all of our creatures are all creature types, but it also creates a 2/2 blue Shapeshifter. Nuka-Cola Vending Machine, just for a little bit of non-creature token generation. We have Skull Clamp in here. Catcher's Monument. White spells you cast cost 1 less. Whenever you cast a creature spell, you make a 1/1 white warrior. and Swiftfoot Boots for a little bit of protection. Enchantments, we have quite a few. Bastion of Remembrance, so when it enters, you make a 1/1 white human creature token. Whenever a creature you control dies, opponents lose 1, and you gain 1. Birth of the Imperium. This is a saga. You create a 2/2 white Astartes Warrior creature token with Vigilance for each opponent. Each opponent sacrifices a creature, and then draw 2 cards for each opponent who controls fewer creatures than you. Cathar's Crusade, which I personally don't run in my commander decks because I hate having to deal with all of the amount of dice. But it is a strong card, and I cannot deny its power, so especially in token decks. Court of Grace, when it comes into play, you become the Monarch, and at the beginning of your upkeep, create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying. If you're the Monarch, create a 4/4 Angel instead. We have Defenders of Humanity, which is when Defenders of Humanity enters the battlefield. Create X 2/2 white Astartes creature warrior tokens with Vigilance. And then you can pay X and 3, exile it, create X 2/2 white Astartes warrior creature tokens with Vigilance. Activate only if you control no creatures, and only during your turn. Endless Foot Assault, which has Squad, is from the Turtle set. I'm sure this is probably Tarantino's favorite card, other than Stomped by the Foot. Sorry about that, folks. We had some technical difficulties on the Hidden Gibbon. We were at Endless Foot Assault, and I was making a pretty terrible Tarantino joke. But Endless Foot Assault has Squad. It's a 3-drop. Squad is however many times you pay the squad cost. You get to make copies of it. And it says, whenever you attack, for each opponent, create a 1/1 black ninja creature token that's tapped and attacking that player. Next, we have ourselves Extravagant Replication, which is at the beginning of your upkeep, create a token that's a copy of another target non-land permanent that you control. I love this card a lot. I added it in here because a lot of our enchantments have a lot of value. It can also copy creatures. It can also copy your artifacts, etc. Just overall, very good. We have Felidar Retreat, which is landfall. Of course, you get to create a 2/2 cat beast or put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. I usually choose the cat beast because, much like Cathar's Crusade, I don't want to have to pay attention to tokens or counters all that much. We have Imposter Syndrome, so whenever a non-token creature you control deals combat damage to a player, create a token that's a copy of that creature, except it isn't legendary. You can use this with Marneus or any number of other of the creatures that we listed above. Intangible Virtue, which gives your tokens +1/+1. We have Kindbinding, which creatures you control get +X/+X, where X is the number of creatures that entered the battlefield under your control this turn. And at the beginning of combat on your turn, create a 1/1 green and white Kithkin creature token. We have Mirror Maid, which is, it comes in and you can copy an artifact or an enchantment. Copy your Skull Clamp or copy one of these awesome enchantments. Monologue Tax, which is just Smothering Tithe we have at home, which is whenever an opponent casts their second spell each turn, you make a treasure. We have Moonlit Meditation, which is enchant an artifact or creature you control. The first time you would create a token, one or more tokens each turn, you may instead create that many tokens that are copies of the enchanted permanent. We have Skrell's Hive, which makes little might tokens at the beginning of your upkeep. If you're a higher budget player, feel free to throw in things like Bitter Blossom and Bitter Bloom Tender. We have The Flesh is Weak, which is when the Flesh is Weak enters the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. Then, creatures you control with 1/1 counters on them are artifacts in addition to their other types. Non-artifact creatures get -1/-1. For our lands, we have Bojuka Bog for utility. You can run Secret Tunnel in here. I didn't this time. I know it's a Weston deck without Secret Tunnel or Rogue's Passage, but sometimes that happens. We have Castle Ardenvale to make a token as well. But other than that, it's a bunch of cheap utility lands. You got the check lands, you got yourselves the bounce lands. So a command tower, and that comes into play, tap tri-land. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. Sorry for the technical difficulty that caused a quick pause. Don't know what happened there. Moxfield froze up on me and it caused OBS to be very upset. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. As always, I'm Weston with the Hidden Gibbon, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.